Yo, testing. What's up, everybody? Hope you can hear me. Hope you can see me. Getting ready to get to it. Just want to make sure that I got good sound. I'm about to hit my boy up, see if he can hop on real quick, check with me, make sure we got some good sound, make sure people can hear me, make sure you all can you can see me. I know you can see me, but really, can you really hear me? Uh, Hold on, give me a moment. Make sure I hit him up so I ain't tripping. Sound check, sound check. Thank you for giving me this opportunity, though. I appreciate you all for taking the time out to listen, to check me out, check the group out, check our podcast out, follow us on Instagram, um, Facebook, all that good stuff. Thank you all again. Cannot appreciate the love um, as much as we do. You all are great. Hopefully, providing great value to you. Um, if we're not, let us know so we can improve. We want to improve so that way we can provide good value to you, our audience. Make sure I got all my stuff on because I'm gonna record this separately too as well. Please bear with me. Sometimes we have a lot of issues, technical issues when it comes down to this podcast or the lives on Instagram. Still trying to figure this out to make sure that we're doing both. So definitely thank you again. I don't know why. Yeah, like you can hear me. Cool. Appreciate that. Appreciate that, bro. Thank you very much. All right, let me switch this thing out. Um, what? Uh, Projects. No. Oh. All right. So, like I said, as I start, once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Black Gentlemen's Club podcast. So tonight, I'm gonna dive into this book, the book of the quarter we've been talking about for the past 4 weeks. This is week 5, the laws of human nature. Um, so this book is written by Robert Greene. We're gonna dive into the intriguing aspect of human psychology. This law we're gonna talk about is the law of covetousness. So this principle of this law kind of it suggests pretty much this: you want what you can't have. It's pretty much human nature. We all know this. We all typically want somebody or something that we can't have, and so we're gonna unpack this together so to make sure that we're camera to pretty much make sure that we're actually diving into this law appropriately and see how we can apply some techniques and strategies to overcome that that desire, that overall desire to have something that we're not supposed to have, or we may not, or we can't have. Mm. So, kind of give you introduction to the law. Covetousness, covetousness drives much of our behavior. It pushes us towards desires that seem out of reach. But the overall thing is, what lies beneath this powerful force? What is the driving force behind why we desire something that's just out of our reach or that we cannot have, and how can we understand it to improve our lives? So before we get started, a little bit deeper, I'm gonna read you out of the actual book, as you can see right here. Um, I want to read the first part. He opens up with an abstract, and he says, "Absence and presence have very primal effects upon us. Too much presence suffocates a degree of absence, spurs our interest. We are marked by the continual desire to possess what we do not have, the object projected by our fantasies. Learn to create some mystery around you, to use strategic absence to make people desire your return, to want to possess you, dangle in front of others what they are missing most in life, what they are forbidden to have, and they will go crazy with desire. The grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. Overcome this weakness in your life in yourself by embracing your circumstances, your fate." So he opens with that, and then he goes into telling a story about the famous designer Chanel. So her story is pretty interesting. How she made a very pivotal transition in her life to becoming a very desired person, even her scent to be desired, even her clothes to be desired, and the way she did it. We're not going to dive into how she did it. However, do have some questions want to ask. So now, have you ever wanted something more because it was forbidden or out of reach? If you have, share in the chat. Let us know, because I know for me, I mean, I know for example, like with me, of course, I want like millions of dollars. I want to be rich. I want to have wealth. But my wealth is not just for me to use. I want to be able to use it for my family. I want to be able to use it for other people to impact their lives. But that's something that I want. Was it forbidden for me? No, but is it out of reach? At the time frame, I thought it was out of reach. Thought things seemed out of reach, but now the more work I do, the more that I become more consistent, the more I see it's not out of reach. It's not something that's unfathomable. However, when I was younger, I remember always wanting things out of that I was not supposed to have. I remember my mom telling me not to go down the street with my bike. That was forbidden because she was like, "I don't want you going this far because if you go out of my sight or out of my reach, then and your bike gets stolen, that's on you. I'm not buying another bike." Well, guess what my stupid ass did? I did exactly what she told me not to do. I wanted to be out there with my friends so badly. I wanted to hang out with them, being down the street, down to Merc, all that good stuff. So I go past where I'm supposed to go. Sure enough, when I go inside one of my friends' house, leave my bike outside in their front yard, I come back outside, my bike is gone. Now I gotta walk home. My mom asked me where my bike is at. I'm trying to lie, like, yo, I let my friend borrow my bike. That's the first lie I came up with. Ain't nobody letting their friend borrow their bike. I thought that shit sounded good, but it was stupid. But that's me doing something that I know I shouldn't have done because I desired to do it. You know, definitely a good one, man. Out of season versus out of reach, definitely a good one. I think a lot of people don't even understand that concept when it's out of season versus out of reach. I think the out of season piece is like, you know, you you tend to mature, you tend to grow, you tend to develop and become a better person. So now that you hit a certain level of maturity, things start to shed off. You start to lose things that you don't do anymore. Versus when it's out of reach, is because it's right there in front of you. You so close, you can possibly grab it, bring it in, you know, but it takes more consistency. Sometimes it may not be what you need, and God could be keeping away from you for a purpose. Think about the Garden of Eden. The tree of life was right in the middle of the Garden of Eden, right? And all of a sudden, God told Adam, "Hey, do not eat from this tree." Then told Eve the same thing. What Adam told Eve the same thing: "Do not eat of this tree, or you shall die." They were like, "We're not gonna eat that tree." But the devil came and tempted and was like, "Hey, you sure you're gonna die if you don't eat from that tree?" I think you think God just don't want you to be like him. So go eat from that tree. And that's the covenant part. It's when you have your desires start to outweigh, you know, really what you're supposed to do. The same thing we talked about before, the law before that, compulsiveness. It's the same thing. Your behaviors, like your thoughts, your process, all that stuff starts to drive you to do something that's you desire, but that's not what you need. The same thing before with the first law, the law of irrationality, where your emotions drive your behavior. All these laws compile upon each other, and if you take all the strategies from all the laws we just talked about, it will help you over time to combat these things. So my other question for you, for y'all is, how do you think the law of covetousness affects our personal relationships, and then can recognize it change the way we interact with others? I'm gonna answer it for me first, and I think the law of covenants does affect our personal relationships, and I see a lot, especially in our current generation, this current era, due to technology. Look, I'm looking at Instagram, I'm looking at TikTok, Facebook, all these different things, even what we see on TV. We are always shown our desires on TV, and then seeing our desires on TV, sometimes people get jealous and they want what you have without doing the work you did to get it, and so it can affect your personal relationships. Like one of my friends wound up winning big, hit, becoming a millionaire or becoming wealthy in life, of course I want the wealth, but I don't want to take his wealth from him. I don't want to take his wealth. I don't want to take her wealth from her. I want them to have what they have. I want them to have the success that they have, but I don't want to take. I don't want what you have. I want similar to what you have, but I don't want what you have. I want that for me, but I don't want yours for me. I want you to keep yours, but I want the same situation for me. But that don't means I want yours. But some people look at it where if they got it, I want what they get. Why would you want to take what your friend has? Why would you want to take what somebody else has if it's not yours? You can have something similar. You could be put in the same situation or the same or have the same outcome, but you ain't got to take from somebody else, right? Um, can recognize it change the way we act with others? Of course, I think if we can recognize it early on that hey man, I'm getting a little jealous. I'm comparing what I got to what you got. Of course, if you can acknowledge that early on, you can kind of nip it in the butt and not let it affect your relationship with whoever that other person is. Like Red Zone DJ just said, everyone wants bigger and better. Big as the what? We gotta ask Drake about that. That's his song. Big as the what? Everybody want the big as the what? I don't, true. Everybody want to be bigger and better than the next person, but they really don't want to be bigger and better. They want what the person has, and then they want to try to elevate themselves based off of what that person just had. Um, my third question for you all would be this: now, in your career or personal goals, have you found that attainable desires motivate you differently? If you have, how so? Um, I think in my career, have I found that unattainable desires motivate me differently? I don't like the word unattainable because I don't think anything is unattainable. I think everything is attainable as long as you stay focused and committed to it. However, I understand what the question is trying to ask. It's trying to pretty much say that something that somebody's dangling over you or something that somebody else has, does that motivate you? Of course. Because if you're competitive, you want, like, for example, not every team is competing for the Super Bowl this Sunday. It's only two teams competing. But you don't think the rest of the teams are like, oh, I see that. I want to be on that main stage. I want to get to the Super Bowl. So yes, of course, it's gonna bring out your competitive nature because you see that desire that you want, and you see other people getting that glory or hitting that goal that you actually wanted to obtain. So of course, for me, I think unattainable desires motivate me differently. But then if it's something that I really can't get, I'm probably gonna pivot. I'm gonna pivot towards something different, hone my skills towards that actually feeds into my overall goal. But if my desires are not aligned with my goals, then why am I actually pursuing, pursuing that goal? I shouldn't be pursuing something like that if it is not aligned with my goal. But if y'all can, definitely leave your answers in the chat. Keep the chat booming. Now, number 4, the last question that I have for you all before we start going into a little bit of the strategies on how we can overcome this covetousness. So what strategies have you used to manage or overcome the feeling of covetousness? For me, I think the strategies that I use, I ain't gonna say I think I know, but the strategies that I use is to understand that everything that somebody has is not for me. That's just the first rule. The second rule for me is that if I want something or want to be in the same or similar situation as somebody else, then I need to put forth same or similar effort and consistency inputs so I can get the same or similar output. If I want bigger and better, then I need to pinpoint what in their process they did wrong in order to get and do that better so that way I can get to beyond where they're at. But it takes time. In the end of the day, it takes time. So I look at if they earned that, they earned it. I only get what I can earn. So if I haven't earned that yet, then I need to keep working so I can earn something similar or close to what they have or the situation close to. That's one of the strategies that I've used in order to pretty much overcome that feeling of wanting what I can't have. So speaking on some strategies, in the book of the 48 law of not 48 laws, but the laws of human nature, Robert Greene discussed three strategies, pretty much to for stimulating desire, and his point for that was to is not for you to desire somebody, but for people to desire you, or for whatever it is that you're trying to maintain or grasp, for that to now try to grasp and chase you or pursue you. So his thing was, the first one he said he recommended was having strategic withdrawal, knowing when, knowing how to, or the pretty much emphasizing the importance of timing and absence to create a stronger longing, or like, knowing when to take yourself out of a situation, or like how they saying, like, distance make the heart grow fonder. It's pretty true, especially if you're married and you've been away from your spouse for a while. When you come back home, she's gonna definitely miss you, or he's gonna definitely miss you. They're gonna want to be around you, want to be underneath you, shower you with love, and you're gonna want to do the same thing for them because you haven't seen them in a while. It's just like when you have a family member that comes from out of town that you haven't seen, you want to spend a lot of time with that person. You want to kick it, talk, go get drinks, whatever the case may be with that person. One of the best people that I would use as an example for strategic withdrawal is Michael Jackson. During the time when Michael Jackson was alive and he was the king of pop, that man would pop in, pop out. He was always a mystery. You could really never know exactly what you're gonna get from this man, or where he's gonna pop up or show up. That's how it was back in, in the 90s and 80s and 70s and stuff. It had a lure of a mystique, is what they called it. Now, number two, the second strategy or thing you can implement is creating rivalries of desire. So this, he talks about how you can explore how you can create a sense of competition that can make you off that can make your offer more appealing. So I'm gonna use this in dating terms. So let's say you're dating somebody, right? Or not you dating, but you just met a girl, maybe at the club, maybe at the grocery store, wherever the case may be, and you all talking, you exchange numbers. She asking you, are you talking to anybody else? Instead of lying saying no, just say yes. She may not like it, but now she knows that other people want you, and then because other people want you, now now they're gonna want you too. Like, for example, my boy just said big as a what, the whole Drake thing, right? Now Drake is one of the number one artists in hip hop. How many girls you think like Drake? Probably a lot of girls like Drake. Even some men that probably like Drake. Drake has his pick of the litter. So like, he don't have to create the rivalry, but there is a rivalry of competition, because now if nobody liked Drake, if Drake was the number one artist in the world, and nobody really liked him as far as to want to date him, then what kind of competition you think other girls gonna really like him like that? Probably not. Everybody like the popular kid, or the popular girl in school. That's because they had other people that liked them. So then people are starting to say, "Oh, well, if they like them, why not? Why am I not liking them? Let me go see what it's to like about them." It's just making yourself more appealing. How can you make your offer more appealing? It's pretty much a marketing thing too. So the last strategy was the induction technique, and this pretty much highlights how gently guiding someone's thoughts or behaviors can make them more inclined to what you offer, without direct persuasion. So you're not really trying to persuade them. What you're trying to do is see whatever, like, how can I say it? If you can align their behaviors with what you're offering, like how Sprite to say obey your thirst. If I'm really thirsty, you think I'm gonna just pick up a can of Sprite because I'm thirsty? I probably want to drink some water first, but because it's ingrained in your head, obey your thirst, and you hear that crack of that can, and that and then that it makes you think that, man, it's so refreshing. This lemon lime drink, it has that crisp, cool feel. Let me get one of them. So when you hear and obey your thirst, or you get thirsty now, you see them pass somebody a can of Sprite while playing basketball. You think Michael Jordan or LeBron James, somebody will be drinking Sprite while playing basketball? Probably not. But that's what the commercials are inducing to you, to make it seem like, hey, create this behavior, understand this behavior, and then this is what you can get now. You can take a Sprite because I'm offering this to you, and this is a better drink than water. So that's the kind of technique that, when he talks about induction technique. But if you have any strategies that maybe was not listed in this book that you want to share, that you want to leave for the group, leave it in the chat, leave it in the comment section. We would definitely love to hear it. Even leave it on our Instagram. While you at it, go ahead and click that subscribe button, hit that hit the notification bell so you can get more notifications of when we go live or even when we drop an episode, or if we even drop some reels. Our goal right now is just really to be consistent and to provide you value. So if we're not doing those things, please let us know if we're not providing you any value, or if we're not showing up when we say we're going to show up. Just let us know, man. Hold us accountable. We want to be held accountable because we're trying to hold other people accountable too as well. Like I said before, thank you for joining tonight's discussion. If you found our conversation pretty interesting or intriguing or enlightening, please subscribe, like, comment, share, share this video, follow us on all platforms. We're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. Everything is in the descriptions below. You can click on those, take you over to our social media. Please get this book if you can and read it and join us. I definitely appreciate everything, y'all. Stay blessed. We out.